Episode 1, Eliza meets the insurgency.
Okay, Eliza, ready to meet the rest of the insurgency.
Oh, you bet I am.
So, you must be the new kid in town.
Yes. My name's Eliza. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. My name's Kimberly Dawson, but you can call me Mrs. Dawson. And my husband's name's Diesel, like your adoptive father. By the way, you're cute.
Aw, thanks Mrs. Dawson.
Also, your adoptive parents told us about the trouble your biological parents put you through. I'm really sorry your childhood wasn't off to a good start.
Yeah. No child should ever be abused by the likes of those two psychopaths, especially a child like you.
To be honest, it wasn't your fault, Mr. and Mrs. Dawson. My biological parents are the real people to blame for this whole mess. And Mr. Dawson, Officer McShane told me that my mom played ding-dong ditch at your house and fat-shamed you when she grounded Stephanie for hanging out with one of your daughters. I actually feel really bad for you. Also, which one of your daughters is friends with Stephanie?
That would be Zara.
And because your biological mother played ding-dong ditch with my husband and jump-scared him in the forest, I had Zara call Stephanie over to ground her.
Whoa. She really messed you guys up.
Yeah, and at least with your real parents in jail, they won't be causing any more trouble for the next 75 years.
That's a relief.
Also, Officer McShane told us that you're smarter than the average child and taught yourself how to take the elevator. Didn't you need someone to teach you how to do that?
Actually, I pretty much figured it out on my own. I knew from looking at the buttons which one would take me down to either the first floor or the lobby. I guess you could say that I also knew my way around the apartment building where I was born.
Say what? Say what?
You were never going to the hospital.
What? Why is that a surprise? And also, no. I was never born at a hospital. I don't know why, but my parents were presumably in a rush at that very moment.
Your mother chose your birthplace to be the very apartment where you three live, because if anyone at the hospital saw them, they would call the police immediately.
They? Who's they?
The doctors and nurses at the hospital. And if that happened, you would have been born in prison.
Heck, if only I didn't have parents who were criminals, I definitely would have been born at a hospital.
Well, that's not completely true. I mean, there are some parents who don't make it to the hospital like you assumed with yours. But your mother learned how to keep a low profile.
Courtesy of her military training?
Military training.
Eliza, how'd you know that?
My mom by birth told me about her backstory with my biological dad when I interrogated her upon calling the police on them. But also, how'd you two know about this?
I told your adoptive mother about your real mother's past during the war against the punishment. I was your mother's childhood crush before Eric was born.
And from what your adoptive father told me, because your mother made out with her at a very young age, she got grounded and spanked by your maternal grandparents.
And I'm guessing all that making out at elementary school led to Eric being born when my real mom was a teenager. No wonder she's so irresponsible.
I don't believe it.
I knew she never was that, but I didn't know she was abused over a big crush. That's a very tragic backstory.
Yeah, even though it didn't justify all the crimes she committed, I feel really sorry for her because of all the pain she suffered when she was slightly above my age.
Man, I know your mother fat-shamed me 4 years ago, but now I feel really bad for her.
So do I.
Well, hopefully your mother will get some help. I have a feeling that this level of abuse she endured traumatized her completely.
I sure hope so too.
So, you must be Eliza Anderson, right?
Yes, that's right.
You know, I can definitely see the resemblance. You look like me and your mother, except that you're dressed exactly as your adoptive father said. And another difference is, you're so cute.
Very few people thought I was cute. But I like what you're saying.
I just can't believe your parents would ever abuse a pretty little girl like you. You didn't deserve that.
I kept asking myself what I ever did to deserve all of that. And the answer I got from the news was pretty obvious. I did absolutely nothing wrong.
Well, for what it's worth, I'm glad that your parents are stuck in prison for 75 years. Your parents and uncles really messed things up for us and our son, Brian.
You know my parents and uncles? What did they ever do to you and this Brian?
Your mother kidnapped us and fellow insurgent Jessica McIntyre as revenge for calling the police on her for assaulting Mr. and Mrs. Dawson and shoplifting at the Rapper City Mall.
And after when Brian's mother and Jessica escaped your mother's hideout, your mother tried to seduce me in front of him.
Oh, the horror. I can't believe it. My own mom's an opportunist.
Worse than that actually. She's a predator. And she saw us as prey.
She did what? I can't believe it. My ex-wife is a psychotic manager.
Yeah. Hunting innocent people down and seducing other men? I knew she was evil, even creepy, but this is insane. I can't believe Boris and Diesel Gavin would marry such a psycho.
Wait, Doris, I may have found Tiana creepy when she had me touch her thighs after when she took her black hoodie off, but why did you find her creepy?
When we were fighting over who was the better mother in front of the Gavin family house, she tried to kill me by kneeling on my chest and suffocating me. She even claimed that messing with me the way she did back then was fun. But it wasn't even fun for me. She's even more mentally unstable than she ever was in Dox's channel.
Oh, the horror. I knew I couldn't stand to see the two of you fighting, but Tiana trying to kill you? Dad, you were right. Why did I have to marry a psycho? This is insane.
Who in her right mind thought it would be a good idea to kill someone her ex recently married while fighting over Boris? Tiana's even crazier than her psycho husband.
This is madness. I'm the daughter of a monster. This is a complete disaster.
Yeah. Not even your uncles could ever stoop that low.
What did my uncles ever do to you?
Your uncle Cubbies threatened to beat my wife up. And your other uncle Terrace called me a cab.
You mean geek?
Don't judge me. My voice can't pronounce that word correctly, okay?
Yes, I know. But for future reference, I'll just have you say nerd.
Never mind that. And your uncle had no disregard for the fact that Brian's father couldn't see without his glasses.
So my uncles are bullies?
That's an understatement if you're talking about Keris. He's a misogynist. It's like he hates women with a burning passion.
Now that's a new low for Corys and Tories. Even worse than joining our ex's gang.
Tell me about it. Now I'm actually glad I haven't met my uncles. Those two are total dirtbags. And Mr. and Mrs. McKenna, I'm sorry about your son. He must have been traumatized from what my mom did to you.
Totally traumatized. He was also horrified by what your mother did to me. I told her that I wasn't interested in flirting with her or any other woman who loves to abuse children, but she didn't care. She just kept demanding me to touch her thighs, and it not only scared my son straight, but it also made me cry and cry and cry, and she was inappropriately harassing me.
Uh-oh. I think Mr. McKenna's broken.
I'm thinking, is Simon gonna be okay?
I'm afraid it might take a while for Simon to recover from his traumatic experience at the dungeon. I'll go cheer him up while you introduce the rest of the insurgents to Eliza. Simon, wait.
Man, my mom really ruined everyone's lives. Caillou was right. She's a total hoodlum.
Wait. Here come the rest of the insurgents.
What was that music for?
That meant that any or all members of the Marquez family has made an appearance.
Croton Productions Incorporated, there was no need for that in this case.
See. Stop that.
Okay.
Anyway, I am Papi Marquez, but grown-ups call me Cole. And right next to me is my mommy, Abuela.
Although grown-ups not related to us and people who are my age usually call me Valerie.
Are you two related to one of the Punishers?
See. One of the Punishers is my wife, Elena. Together we had a daughter named Dora. Unfortunately though, Dora's mommy's been abusing her and killing numerous innocent people.
And she's been causing trouble with your mammy, and she even manipulated me and Cole a few times recently in Roku of Yonder's channel.
Roku-kun of Yonder? Who's this Roku-kun you're talking about?
Roku-kun the Anderson and Division Go animator who makes grounded videos out of your two half-siblings, Caillou and Stephanie, as well as Clyde, Dora, Little Bill, and Shabari.
Unfortunately, there were some videos where said kids get extremely brutal punishment days which can sometimes lead to their death even though they get revived by Go Animate logic.
And because of that, Nicholas D made a movie where Roku of Yonder's version of me, Cole, and Elena got arrested and executed by the Boulogne-Billancourt Haute Police in Paris.
Wow. This Boulogne-Billancourt police force doesn't kid around when it comes to child abusers running amok, does it?
Not quite.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're Eliza, right?
Yes. I'm Eliza. And I've heard about the stuff my mom did with Mrs. Marquez. She had that slumber party with her, Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. Edmond, and Miss Martin and grounded the whole world, right?
You're close. Dora's mommy and your mommy grounded the whole world with your poppy and uncles Chorus and Taurus and the loco Irish mommy. And by that I mean the crazy Irish mother.
Then your mammy grounded Dora's payback for your three of us grounding my daughter-in-law for attending her slumber party and grounding the whole world with those Cinco hooligans.
That word, cinco, what does that mean?
That means 5 in Spanish.
Oh. Sorry, Crotoon Productions Incorporated. I have a hard time understanding Spanish.
Well, even though Officer McShan told us how smart you are, it's okay for you not to know everything. Nobody's perfect when it comes to knowledge.
You do have a point, Abuela.
But also, when you stood trial against your own parents, you mentioned something about fighting back when your mommy cornered you in Stephanie's room. How'd you do that?
I'm not a completely helpless child. When my dad snuck in front of me, I dodged him, circled around, attacked him from behind, and drop-kicked him in the chest.
Wait. Are you a self-taught martial artist?
Well, it was surprising to me and Diesel too. But yeah. From what Caillou told me, Eliza also drop-kicked Tiana in the chest before she ran over to Diesel's old house.
Ay caramba. You're really tough for a 4-year-old.
Well, while my half-siblings and adoptive parents tried to protect me with your help, Stephanie and I had each other's backs and held our own against our mom. I guess you could say that I'm a born survivor.
Well, this is awkward.
See. I agree. How did you manage to take on your mommy with Stephanie's help?
I drop-kicked my mom in the chest like I did in front of Caillou, dodged every single one of her attacks, jumped up on her back, freed myself when she was about to break me, and I punched her in the stomach just when she was about to kill me. But Stephanie only broke my fall when she punched our mom in order for her to let me go.
Is everything that Eliza's saying true?
In her defense, Tiana knocked us, Christopher and Angelina, and the rest of the Gavins out before Stephanie and Eliza held their own against her.
And they bought us some time to make it inside to ground her?
Holy smokes. She's not just a child prodigy. She's a hero.
It's so ironic given how young she is, but she saved all of us.
Although now that I think about it, I'd probably train Eliza if I were you. She may eventually be outmatched when it comes to combating child abuse.
Although Abuela.
So, you must be Tiana's new daughter.
Yes. My name's Eliza. It's nice to meet you.
Just out of curiosity, you said you got spanked and grounded the exact same way as Stephanie and Caillou respectively, right?
Yup.
Oh, did your mother also blow an air horn at you at 5:30 in the morning like she did Natalie?
That's how the first time I got abuse began.
Wow. Your mother really messed up this time.
It's like she's aching for some kid to cause trouble.
What? I never planned on causing any trouble. Also, has my mom ever had this kind of delusion before?
Honestly, Eliza, she has. 4 years ago, she grounded our eldest daughter, Althea Andor, for still being friends with Stephanie even though both girls redeemed themselves.
And she even acted entitled by throwing a temper tantrum on the sidewalk in front of us all because we disagreed with her grounding Althea Andrea for a false reason.
Wait. Tiana threw a temper tantrum? On the sidewalk?
Yeah. She was acting like a big baby in front of Althea Andrea and her parents, for so long I had to carry her all the way home without grounding her. It was so embarrassing.
Wow. I knew I was more mature than my mom, but she really is a big baby.
Yeah, but that's not the worst thing she's ever done to us.
What? What could possibly be worse than throwing an entitled tantrum in front of you two and this Althea Andrea?
When I was working undercover as a member of the Punishers, my cover got blown by the crazy Irish mother and your mother had her try to kill me and my family.
My mom had the crazy Irish mother do that horrible thing? That's insane. I can't believe my mom would ever resort to measures like this. She's an evil criminal mastermind.
That's just about right. And that's actually worse than a psycho count.
And while we heard you mentioning the part where you fought back against your parents, you shouldn't go around underestimating them. Because if you do, you'll be in real danger, and trust me, I knew better than to be friends with her the moment I saw her true colors.
You were friends with my mom?
Until we saw her grounding Althea Andrea for a false reason. And she even invited me to join the Punishers, hoping to rekindle our friendship. But she wasn't the woman I knew then.
When Stephanie and L300 caused trouble together with Kate Pancake and HMV Video Archive channel, my wife and your mother spanked them for doing something bad a few times. And ever since Stephanie improved on her behavior in Animation Sensation 2's channel, L300 tried to force her to rejoin the Troublemakers and has still been causing trouble. That is, until L300 herself improved on her behavior in JG the Animator 5's channel.
That's the saddest story I've ever heard.
Yeah. But Eliza, just remember, no matter how much trouble your biological parents caused in the past, deep down, they're still family. So don't give up on them.
And don't give up on your family either. No matter who's raising you.
Maybe you're right.
Well, we'll let you meet the rest of the insurgents now. We've said enough.
Ciao. You must be Eliza.
Ciao? What does that mean?
That is in Italian.
Oh, sorry, different languages are kind of new to me.
Well, you may be smart, but you are also young. You are also a pretty little girl.
Well, I've been called cute, but I'm actually more than just a pretty little girl.
Oh, speaking of which, when we stood trial together against the Punishers, I was surprised to learn that you defended yourself against your own parents. Where did you learn how to fight?
My fighting skills were kind of passed down to me as an inheritance. My parents were military veterans. Their training made me as quick and agile as them.
Mamma mia! That is the first time I've ever met a kid like you. This is really incredible.
What can I say? I'm a born survivor.
You know, as you Americans would say, for a 4-year-old kid, you sure don't know how to kick butt and put the hurt on the bad guys. Diesel and Doris, you two have adopted an incredibly reckless yet righteous child.
What can I say? She may have the same fighting tactics as her exes, but she's as kind-hearted as any other non-troublemaker could ever be.
Well, Eliza, it was nice to meet you. Just remember to stay out of trouble.
Sure thing, Maria.
So, you must be Eliza. It's nice to meet you, little girl. My name's Michael Davidson. I'm the father of the notorious childish young adult.
Childish young adult? Who's the childish young adult?
He's my oldest son. And his real name is Alan Davidson.
Any relation to Julie Davidson?
Julie's his mother. And until she joined the Punishers upon seeing Mrs. Marquez toss him out of McDonald's, she was also my wife. And I filed her for a divorce 4 years ago.
Why else did she join the Punishers?
Julie had one thing in common with fellow Punisher, Catherine Johnson.
And what's that?
Both Catherine and Julie were annoyed by one member of our respective families acting childish. Julie being annoyed at Alan, and Catherine annoyed by her ex, Dave, the childish dad. But Julie was so annoyed right up to the point where she threatened to give him a concussion in Nick the Animator 2K5's channel and refused to help him treat his acne.
Okay. I admit that this Alan and childish dad can be annoying when they act childish, but even I know a thing or two when it comes to child abuse. My mom threatened to beat me up.
Yeah. Well, luckily you showed your mother who's boss and that no entitled Karen could bring you down.
Straight up.
Well, hopefully your mother won't be causing any more trouble now that she and her gang are in jail for 75 years.
Yeah. Hopefully. Whoa. I've never seen anyone dressed like that before. Who are you?
I am Lisa Pitts. But most people call me either Mrs. Pitts or Mrs. Webster.
Isn't Webster the surname of one of the Punishers?
Unfortunately, yes. The Punisher you're referring to is my ex-husband, Pierre Webster.
What did this Pierre Webster ever do to you?
He threatened to beat me up and kill me if I tried to stop him from abusing our daughter, Samantha. Then he knocked me out with a brick when he did the unthinkable to her.
What? What did he do?
Some things, young Eliza, are better left unsaid. It's too inappropriate for you to learn until you're older.
Oh. Okay then.
Also, I heard about the stuff your parents did to you. I feel really sorry for you.
No pretty girl like you or my daughter deserves to get abused like that.
I also feel bad for Samantha. Whatever else happened to her must have been really traumatizing.
It was actually. Stephanie found out about it when she, Sage, and the rest of his friends went over to Samantha's house to hear her side of the story.
Wait. Lisa, did Pierre actually do all that stuff to the Samantha?
Yes, he did. That man I used to love was actually a psychopath. His true colors made him the worst guy I've ever met. And I remained single until I recently met a kinder and more loving father in 2001 Productions channel. He was shy at first, but we got along very well on our first date.
Is that why your last name's Pitts?
Yup. His name is Irvin. And I actually prefer him over Pierre.
Did the servant get divorced or were you the first woman he met?
Neither, unfortunately. I'm his second wife. But not because he got divorced. His first wife died of cancer. And he's been working hard at 2 dead-end jobs to support his children.
That's almost as sad as what Samantha's been going through when she was younger.
You're telling me Irvin must have been devastated by the loss of his first wife.
Yeah. But she would presumably want him to take care of his children and move forward. Even if he married me. And I'm sure you and Doris are better guardians for Eliza than Boris and Tiana could ever be.
We are actually. And I was thinking of getting Eliza enrolled at the Rapper City Elementary School this year.
You mean I get to go to school and learn?
Yes.
That's great. I'm sure Eliza will work hard and smart at the same time. Anyway, it was nice to meet you, Eliza. And by the way, you're cute and a real tough fighter at the same time.
It was nice to meet you too, Mrs. Pitts.
So, you're the new kid in town?
Yes. My name's Eliza. If I'm not mistaken, you're Miss Martin, right?
Yes.
Didn't you used to be one of the Punishers?
That was before your parents had me and your adoptive parents attend their wedding against our wills. Your half-siblings were also forced to attend it as well. In my defense, kid, seeing your parents make out during my days as a child abuser was an embarrassing and disgusting experience for me. Especially when your mother gets sassy.
I think I would get disgusted by that too if I ever saw them doing that.
Well, for what it's worth, you actually taught your parents a lesson. Just like they taught me a lesson, and you're actually smarter and tougher than you look. In fact, I think you have more street smarts than both Rosie and my other daughter, Fauna.
Wait. How many half-sisters do I have?
Boris never told Eliza about Fauna?
You know this, Fauna.
I don't think either one of my parents told me about Fauna. And I only interrogated my mom. But Crow Girl 22 and Crow Toon Productions Incorporated told me about Caillou and his siblings.
Oops. Sorry, Eliza. But Fauna is the biological daughter of both your father and Miss Martin. And Fauna has a brother named Hunter.
Why didn't you tell her that in the first place?
Come on, Miss Martin. I didn't want to spoil anything for Eliza. She would have had a lot more questions to ask than the knowledge of her uncles and the rest of her half-siblings.
Well, you should have had Tiana file Boris for divorce for that.
But Boris already told her before they got married. At the time, Tiana was so bent on cancelling my Grounded series out of her and was craving revenge in the worst possible way. If anything, she's mentally unstable.
Is that why Tiana interrogated me about my affair with Boris? Because he told her about it?
Well, that and he and Caillou told her about his affairs with Elena and Kimberly Dawson in the video editor Guy 6579 and T-Bone Animate respective channels.
Are you saying my dad's a womanizer?
Yeah. Sort of.
Unbelievable.
You were right, Ms. Martin. He is a womanizer.
Yeah. And an idiot. I just hope that I'll never have to see him or any of the Punishers again.
Hey Eliza. It's nice to meet you. My name's Ms. Bachman.
You too. So, what was it like dealing with my mom?
I honestly think your mother's a bad influence on my ex-husband, Herman. He was bad enough of a father as it is when he abused Bongo, but joining the Punishers was even worse. Plus, she grounded Bongo for improving on his behavior in Carson's channel. Plus Bongo's father wasn't over him moving out and calling the police on him for everything he did.
You mean this Bongo has been causing trouble because of the way Herman's been treating him?
Yes.
Ugh. These people are sick.
I agree. Also, Eliza, I heard that your parents abused you in the same manner as they did your half-siblings. I'm sorry that this happened to you. You didn't deserve any of that.
Definitely not. They had no right to punish me or any of my half-siblings for false reasons. We deserve love, happiness, and a bright future.
You know, when you say it like that, you sure do sound like a motivational speaker. I can definitely see how smart Officer McShane said you were.
The officer did mention the part about me learning how to take the elevator by myself, but I was also as formidable of a fighter as my parents.
Wait. You can fight?
Yeah. Eliza somehow knew Kung Fu. She drop-kicked both of her parents in their chests, rapidly punched Boris in the butt, and blocked and dodged all of Tiana's attacks.
Behind all the cute and cuddly exterior lies the mind and wits of not just a military soldier, but a secret agent.
Wait. A secret agent? You really think I'm that smart?
Yeah! The power of rap logic in your possession made you as much of a fighter as a spy with the investigative nature of a detective and gave you heightened senses.
Whoa. I never knew I had it in me.
Whoa. I gotta say, I'm truly and utterly shocked.
This may have been a shock to my adoptive parents too. Like my parents did when they were mad dogs, I beat the odds when it comes to a fight.
That's insane. No wonder your mother got easily defeated back at her old house. On the bright side, they won't be causing trouble for the next 75 years now that they're in jail.
Definitely.
Well, Eliza, it was nice to meet you.
You too, Ms. Bachman. Is that all of them?
No, there's only one insurgent you haven't met yet.
Really? Who?
She's coming right now.
Whoa, you look just like Tiana.
Yeah. I get that a lot, but also, who are you? And how do you know my mom?
My name's Jessica McIntyre, and your mother has done me wrong by putting me out of a job. I used to be a waitress at an Olive Garden restaurant until she destroyed it.
She destroyed it? How did she do that?
When I was serving her, 6 of your half-siblings, and their father, your mother demanded a chicken scampi even though we were out of chicken at the time. Then she staged a second engagement with him and threatened to engage the restaurant, which she did. She destroyed every single portion of it with her bare hands.
Now that's messed up. Destruction of public property. My mom's a real savage.
Yeah, but that's not the worst thing she did.
Was it the time when my mom kidnapped you and the McKennas?
How do you know that?
Mrs. McKenna told me when we met.
Then yeah, that was the worst thing she ever did. After when Mrs. McKenna and I escaped from her secret hideout, which was an old abandoned house, she held her family for ransom. And the worst part is, she tried to break the 2 McKenna parents apart by seducing Mr. McKenna in front of their own son in a dungeon.
Mr. and Mrs. McKenna pretty much told me everything about that.
Also, even though I heard that you defended yourself against your parents, I can't believe that they could be so cruel and abuse a pretty little girl like you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, Jessica. You and the rest of the insurgency helped save my life. And if I hadn't called the police upon watching the news under Crotoon Productions Incorporated's instructions, I would have been punished for even longer.
You're right. And you never deserved any of the abuse your parents put you through. Just remember, don't let all the abuse you endured have a bad effect on your behavior, because that's what happened to your mother and Samantha.
I'll totally stay out of trouble, because now I got a family who actually protects and supports me.
Well, kid, it was nice to meet you.
You too, Jess. Well, to everyone watching this, I hope you all enjoyed watching me meet the insurgency. If so, leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe. Eliza out.
He's gotta be strong. I would swear that there's someone somewhere watching me. Through the wind and the chill and the rain,